I think the Sea Ray is an amazing machine. You can go anywhere, have a blast, it's affordable to fly, but it does have one Achilles heel that'll send your plane to Davy Jones' locker in no time.
This is the landing gear boot, and it keeps water out of the cockpit and out of the hull because the landing gear hole, that, is actually below the water line when you're in the water. So if your boot fails, you sink because it's like a 7-inch hole, and a 7-inch hole can flow a lot of water.
And also those seals move every time you put the landing gear up and down. They get pulled on, they get tweaked, they get moved around a little bit, and they're underwater.
So if you're flying a Sea Ray or honestly anything that floats, you need to get in the habit of checking the boots every single time for your pre-flight inspection.
Like this one, it looked sick, and then you start poking at it, and it's not.
That's more than a seep, yeah. Oh.
Looking for cracks or seams or anything weird, and it's kind of tricky to inspect them because of the way the landing gear actuates. Getting underneath is really hard to do a thorough inspection. There's also one in the back of the elevator boot that's under the water as well, and that one's really hard to inspect. Even worse though is because Progressive Aerodyne, the company that made the Sea Ray kit and the factory Sea Ray LSA version, has gone out of business. So you can't really easily get those boots right now, and they're getting harder and harder to find. Luckily, if you have an experimental one like I do, you can solve it yourself.
So I swung by my local big box aviation supply store to see what they might have in stock that could work. Nothing was looking good until I visited the roofing section, and these looked like they might do the trick, and they're in stock.
Made for your dryer vent or something on your roof.
So I got these things cut up using the appropriate aviation razor blade, and it looks like they're gonna fit pretty good. And like many short projects, this one evolved rapidly because there was tons of silicone. I had to rerun my brake lines, the old boots fell apart in my hand, and I did the landing gear while I was at it.
Got silicone bead around the flange. I reran the brake lines, that's siliconed.
And at this point, you're probably like, Matt, dude, you seriously did not just get a boot from my mom's roof for a dryer vent and put it on your airplane, but I did. They fit amazingly, they're thicker, they're pliable. Let's go test them. I hosed those things down inside and out. I tested the bilge pump. I hosed them down again. I couldn't find leaks with the hose. Let's fly. So I flew around, landed in some rivers, landed in some lakes. I splashed around as much as I could. I looked in the back, I looked underneath, I swam underneath. I even put a camera in the cockpit to look for leaks via the camera. And then I let the plane just sit while I was eating chicken tenders and all over the place to just see if it took on water and then measure how much water that was. I can't take credit for this. Somebody else came up with the idea. I wouldn't have found it otherwise. And honestly, I never thought I'd be in a position to do sick mods on my airplanes, but with airplane companies going out of business like it's their job, it's nice to have parts that are available.